go like this?
What's up, guys? I am here in the basement of my friend Andy the lab. So you guys have asked, Robey, what about sim racing or flight sims? And so many times on our videos or during my live streams or even on social media, you guys have been asking us to build a rig just like this. Well, today, guys, we're gonna kick it off with one monster of a rig. And we're talking about something that is completely powered by the latest and greatest from AMD. We're gonna have Andy take you through the entire journey, soup to nuts, benchmarking, testing, final thoughts, as we begin this journey on her developing the ultimate sim racing rig for her and helping you decide how to jump into sim racing as well. Before I get myself in trouble, I'm gonna hand this off to the expert because there's a lot I still need to learn.
This entire journey goes back a few months. The Samsung 55-inch Odyssey Arc had just been released. And I thought, I wonder how this would work if I use two of these for sim racing. Traditionally, high-end sim rigs will use a triple display. So to help explain my logic behind using two Arc displays, we need to understand how we see. After some internet digging, it seems on average that the visual field of a human eye covers about 170 degrees. This includes our peripheral vision. So if each Samsung Arc is approximately a 71-degree curve, or arc, then two Samsung Arcs would technically be 142 degrees. And that is within range of your visual field. Three Arcs would have exceeded this, and I kind of felt like it was a waste. So that's why I decided to go with two. But now we have a different problem. By sticking these two screens together, there will be a break in the display from bezel to bezel, which, by the way, these bezels are extremely low profile. We are talking about 1/8 of an inch. Luckily, my former employer, Asus ROG, makes a bezel-free kit, but only up to a 27-inch display. And this kit itself is only 16 inches long. The Samsung Arc would require something nearly double this length, which means we're gonna have to get creative. Following some advice from Will over at Boosted Media,
hey guys, Will here.
I got the skinniest double-sided tape I have ever seen. So between cutting an extra piece and connecting this, hopefully it will do the trick. Now, during the time that I got this idea, AMD's RDNA 3 launch occurred and the 7900 XTX was revealed. I happened to be at the launch and Samsung was also there, as they are a partner promoting FreeSync compatibility on their displays. So I shot my shot and AMD was like,
let's do this thing.
Which is probably a good time to mention that this episode is sponsored by, you guessed it, AMD. No, not Andy, AMD. Obviously, for a project this big, I had to build something special. Now, I have had these gold EK fittings for the longest time, and I have been waiting for the perfect opportunity to use them. So I told myself, Deb, this is it. So that's what's inspired this black and gold build. I also custom painted 3 EK Quantum surface radiators in gold, which will all go inside the Lee & Lee 011 DXL case. We are using the top tier AM5 Ryzen 9 7950X CPU. We partnered with Kingston for all the storage using their latest Gen 4 NVMe along with the AMD Expo certified DDR5 RAM. All of this goes into a special EK water blocks and MSI partnered motherboard. I really like that the VRM heatsinks were already removed, which made this easy and fast to put together. If you're interested in seeing a build like this as a step-by-step how-to or as part of the Let's Build series, let us know. Leave a comment down below. So back to the star of the show, AMD's Radeon 7900 XTX. I love how it still uses 8-pin connectors, and the overall appearance looks so good, it honestly felt a bit wrong to take it apart. But removing the air cooler was actually really easy before I installed this GPU block to maximize cooling. The build is done, and EK Waterblocks is featuring this at their booth in Vegas for CES, so I gotta pack this up and get it ready for a road trip. Pelican was kind enough to send me the 0550 to ship this. Some of you might have already seen coverage on this, and at the time, it was the world's first Waterblock 7900 XTX. I got to see it in person along with some familiar faces you might recognize too. It's been a couple weeks since CES, and I just got notice that the PC should arrive back to me in a couple of days. So in the meantime, we're gonna build the sim rig once I finish this cup of coffee. Let's go! We started off with Next Level Racing's Elite Monitor Stand. Now technically with the triple monitor add-on, it supports up to 3 43-inch displays. I used an additional stand to support the weight of these dual 55-inch arcs. Next step is building the FGT Elite. The instructions are so clear, you can pretty much build this solo, but help is always welcome. Now I'm connecting this to the Traction Plus and Motion V3, also from Next Level Racing. I'll link all of these down below. Mounting the seat, pedals, and direct drive wheel was a piece of cake, and I love how you can easily adjust for different positions. I cannot believe that this only took a half a day to build. I thought I was going to be doing this for 2-3 days. So here's what we're gonna do, because I am itching to take this thing for a test drive. I'm gonna go grab one of my recent holiday builds. Now, admittedly, it is not an AMD build, but it is using the latest gen parts. It has a 13900K and a 4090. We're not doing a comparative benchmark test, just so you know. It's already been covered by so many other channels. Remember, we're just doing this because I want to get this fired up while we wait for our PC to get back from Vegas. All right, the computer turned on. Windows automatically recognized both displays. Now I'm just going to go into display settings, check on a few things. 4K, great. I go to advanced display. Display 1, 164.99 hertz right there. Display 2, same thing, perfect. I know Samsung advertises that this display is 165 hertz. I actually didn't realize that you could hit 4K 165 on HDMI, so this is pretty cool. So we're gonna exit out of this and now go into NVIDIA control panel. Jump down to configure surround physics, check span displays and surround, configure. It recognizes it has display 1, display 2, although this is a little weird because it's showing up more like a 4x3 and it has a what? Display connection error. I don't think I've ever seen this happen before. This is weird. The problem is that the displays are not merging. So for example, when I load a game, it only displays on one side. I even tried in windowed mode and stretching it across, but that looks horrible. And mind you, I spent hours every day going through NVIDIA forums, other PC forums, and I happened to see a few mentions of Custom Resolution Utility, CRU. I found a few videos on it, including one that Will made.
Hey guys, Will here.
And in a nutshell, CRU lets you spoof the driver into thinking your displays are 1. But even that didn't work, so I thought maybe it's the 4000 series. So I grabbed the Abby build that has a 3090. That also didn't work.
No! God, please, no! No! No!
Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's been 3 days and it's not working. 4090, 3090 build, it's not working. Good news though, I did get notice that the Vegas, the CES PC should be here in 2 days. Having said that, I am going to go grab an older build. I have an all AMD build that I did this past summer. It has a 5800 X3D and a 6950 XT. We'll see. It's the only other build I have with an AMD GPU. Fired up, back in the seat. Let's go back to display settings. All right, we got both displays being identified. Fabulous. 4K. All right, let's go to advanced displays. Now, because the 6950 XT only has one HDMI port, I had to order a display port to HDMI cable, and that maxes out at 120 hertz. We need to make sure that both displays are synced, so we're gonna go to display number 2, and as you can see, it still can magically hit 165 hertz, which is amazing. But we're gonna select 120 so they both match. Now we can go into AMD Adrenalin and we are looking for a program called Eyefinity. Oh, okay, it's right here. Yes, AMD Eyefinity. Combine multiple displays to act as one, and then there's a quick setup. So that's it. That's it. I just press this plus sign. All right, I mean, what do we have to lose? Let's go for it. It's definitely doing. Oh my gosh, I just wasted 3 days and this Eyefinity literally took 5 seconds? my gosh. AMD is gonna love this video! Okay, a couple things that we have to address. I know what some of you might be thinking. Well, why didn't she just use that AMD build from the beginning? At the time, I was just trying to get those displays up and running as quickly as I could. You see, when I initially pitched this idea to AMD, I had belief that this concept could work, but I didn't really know. I've never done this before. So when the 4090 failed, I started to get this overwhelming sense of anxiety. I know how NVIDIA Surround is supposed to work. And as day one turned into day two, the seed of doubt was definitely growing, especially when that 3090 failed. I think in that moment, I felt so stressed because here's AMD backing me for this project, and all I could think of was, oh my gosh, like they're never gonna wanna work with me again. Now, another reason why I didn't think to use this 5800X3D right away is because this has been in a pile, starting to be deconstructed. I mean, its guts, they're literally hanging out. But now that I knew Eyefinity worked, I just had to wait for my CES build to arrive. I got everything hooked up the same way, and just like before, as soon as I turned it on and activated Eyefinity, the displays merged together. Although I did disable the additional display on the distro plate because it was messing things up. Yes, my idea, it actually worked. When I used to sim race on a single monitor, which was a 65-inch display, I lacked a lot of left and right side visibility. So this has completely expanded my field of view. But I'm just not entirely sure how I feel about my bezel solution. While I've gained very valuable peripheral visibility, unfortunately, when I look straight forward, I'm essentially staring at a 3.5-inch piece of plastic. I'm curious, what do you think? I'm gonna leave a longer POV shot at the end of this video, so definitely leave a comment, maybe duke this out, because this is kind of like a form over function kind of debate. Now, in the beginning of this video, I asked the question, can this feel like this? I don't know if you noticed, but two of those clips weren't real life racing. It was Will over at Boosted Media, who happens to arguably have one of the best sim racing setups out there. Now, what I can tell you, even though I haven't been on a track yet, I have driven a lot of the road variants of Mercedes, Aston Martin, Porsche, Nissan, for example. And I have to say, there are striking similarities between the way it felt to drive in-game compared to when I drove it on the road. And then you couple that with pro racers like Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc. They all sim race. You start to wonder, because people like them, they don't need to, yet they're enjoying it. Gotta be some factor, whether graphics getting better, motion rigs becoming more advanced. Maybe even one day PC Build Simulator 2 will actually feel like building a PC. But speaking of things getting better, let's talk about performance. Now, for these benchmarks, keep in mind, this is for 7680 by 2160 resolution, and immediately off the bat in Assetto Corsa Competizione with epic settings and FSR enabled and set to performance, single car racing averaged 181 frames. And when I loaded a race with 25 cars, things did jump down a little to 126 frames. Moving on to F1 2020, average frames were 75, again with FSR enabled and set to performance and ultra high settings. I'd also like to note, during the benchmark test, it feeds the motion data back to the sim, and it kinda looks like a ghost was driving it. And finally, Forza Horizon 5, FSR enabled and set to performance with extreme settings, average FPS was 107. I also ran Cinebench R23 at baseline and got a score of 37,345, which is on par with Robeytech's baseline setup. Yes, the max temp of this benchmark hit 88 degrees. We then did a slight overclock and we were able to raise the score to 37,419, and the high temp hit 90, indicating we could push this even more. So from a performance standpoint, the last time I sim raced, I was exclusively using a 3090 with one 4K display and barely breaking 80 FPS. So I am really happy to see these numbers on dual 4K displays. And for you sim racers out there, I highly recommend this 7900 XTX. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you like this style of content. Huge thanks again to AMD for sponsoring this video, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss future episodes with Andy and Abby.